DragonStrike, this was Kickstarter ran in the spring of last year. So April of 2024, I believe it was. March or April of 2024. I'm pretty certain it was April of 2024. And delivery was supposed to start out at the beginning of this year. However, tariffs have played havoc with it. Everything has been slowly going through fulfillment process over the past few months, and I finally got my hands on mine. I contributed a little bit to some playtesting and a little bit of work on Kickstarter prep for this game, so I've been really excited. This is really, really fun, or at least it was in the early formats that I got to try it. So I'm very, very, very pumped, excuse me, to be getting some games in with this very soon. But we have the core box here. We have the very first expansion, which adds green and silver dragon. And these are kind of big boxes, so I am working on keeping them in the camera right now. I also have 2 more goodie boxes to unload as well. So we'll be taking a look at these. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I got one of everything that was in the Kickstarter bonuses. So we're going to go ahead and just get started and dive in. The expansion will come after here in a little bit. First, we've got the main attraction, the DragonStrike core box. So this is based on the dragons of D&D. So you have your chromatic dragons, and I'm blanking on the other. Oh, chromatic and metallic dragons. So, opening in the box, very first thing that we see, which, nice big lid, let's pull that off to the side. The very first thing that we see in here is the game mat, and it's not a flimsy paper mat, which it's not a paper mat, it's not even a cardboard mat. This is neoprene, and it's not like dense, thick neoprene. It's folded up, but like this is some pretty impressive quality, because like it's folded up, but it's not creased. Like this, manufactured in China. Again, I have not unfolded this yet, so it has traveled across the world, folded up like this, with no crease. It is like neoprene, a nice, like, not too terribly thick though, so it is manageable to fit in the box here. Just excited. And then this is a grid-based game, hex grid, with some what's that? About like 2-inch hex, I think, give or take. So we've got our mat in here. We have bases for our dragons. Let's get the handy dandy knife. Crack these open. And find out where my tape is here too. And just go ahead and cut that tape off. So, oh, perfect. If you are at all familiar with, ooh, cool. So if there's anything that happens with these, I have backups. Anybody who is familiar with X-Wing miniatures, this is actually the same stand. Yeah, this is the same stand profile for our large ships and X-Wing miniatures. It is just a hex base instead of a square base. So that is cool. Awesome. So we have 4 dragons in this set. We have 4 bases. That is our next thing in the box. Close the knife for safety. Throw my trash away real quick. Get a sip of coffee before we dive deeper. Alright, so next up we have our cardboard paper materials. This looks like, yeah, these are our dragon dashboards, which I believe have some magnetic quality to them. We have our flight deck. We have a little bit of other information. I will get this unpacked here in a moment. Let's dive a little bit deeper in here. We have our tiles. So, these are hazards. these are breath weapons for the dragons. And looks like we have some scenario tiles in here as well. Oh, okay. Yeah, we've got our scenario tiles, and so we have printed like models for the dragons. However, we also have printed tiles for the dragons. So we have red dragon, brass dragon, white dragon, bronze dragon. These can be just represented for the dragons instead of using the big models for like an easier setup game. We have why am I blanking on that name? Big arrow, but ballistas. We have ballistas. That'll be interesting. So we have ballistas. We have some. It looks like double-sided. A double-sided hex with like a campground. Maybe trying to hunt out some thieves. Ballistas to try to not get shot down for. Excuse me. Our carriage tile, which is one of our missions. Our 4 dragons, and then we have our breath weapon. So poison clouds for the bronze and brass dragon. The white dragon has the storm cloud, or no, the ice bomb for the white dragon. Red dragon has fireball, storm cloud for. Oh, that's right, that's right. I'm messing up my orders here, but we'll get into all that and figure out who's got the right. I should know this, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Oops, I'm sorry about that, Alvaro and Francisco. I will get it right by the time I get a game in this afternoon. Okay. And, let's see here. Oh, our cards for all of our dragon attacks. We have more breath weapons in here. So let's take a look. Whoop. And these are not, like, shabby, flimsy cardboard. Like, these are some decent cardstock pages here. So, breath weapons, I'm going to go ahead and punch these out since these are already wanting to come out anyway. So pop those bad boys. I really like the breath weapon mechanic to the game because we can get in and have pretty much set traps for your opponents to fly into. And this is just a quick reference for all of the maneuvers available in the game. And then what each of our dragons do. So, we've got our frost attack, our frost dragon. We'll have the ice ball hazard. Ice bomb is their attack, or they can have a ranged breath weapon. So we've got a 3 hex area of effect for the fire breath weapon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hex area of effect, kind of straightforward, in a cone for the frost breath. The poison breath is just a big cloud that is going to cover 7 ahead. And then our lightning attack breath weapon goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ahead in a straight line. Our hazards, so our red dragon will throw out the fireball hazard, which let's see, when it deploys, it moves 3 hexes forward, and all dragons in the path will have to suffer a damage test. And then for the next turn, I think it goes forward 1 more. Yeah, during the situation phase, fireball moves 3 hexes forward, so it will go 3. Then the next turn it'll go 3 more. Ice bomb is pretty much set on a timer, and it explodes in the next round. The poison gas hazard is just there, and it delivers stress. It sticks around for 2 rounds. And then a storm cloud will stick around for a couple of rounds. And if an opposing dragon flies through it, they will take damage. And then we have quick reference for what happens when you damage, what happens when you do a dodge test. What happens when you have a special effect roll, which we'll get into all of those. Excuse me. And then what happens when you get into melee? Now, this melee in this game is very interesting. Out of any of the playtesting I've done, I think we only ended up in like one, maybe two instances of melee occurring. And once you get into melee, something's not going to survive. That's all there is to it. The times that we got into melee in the games that I played, nothing survived. Like I think the Dragon Rider survived, but the Dragon Rider plummeted to their death because their dragon was not alive. So that's what we got about that. And then we've also got our rule book in here, which was nice and neatly packed. It was in the plastic. I will admit that I took a cursory glance in here. I wasn't going to break into any of the plastic yet. And I sent a message. I was like, so I'm sure I probably missed this. Rulebook's in here, right? He was like, yeah. He was like, you just got to look for it. And I was like, yeah, I hadn't looked for it. Because I hadn't looked for it. It's in the plastic. So, if you get your own copy of this, remember you have to break into the plastic to get to your rulebook. But it's nice, simple, and straightforward. I'm going to be running some demos of this here over the next couple of weeks. I might end up just making some notes for my own personal preference. Just because when I was looking over everything last night, there were, for a demo purpose, I was considering how I may end up adjusting my language when I'm teaching this to people. There is a priority set to this game, which is between, they call it the combat edge, the fighting edge. So the sharp edge and the dull edge, or the blunt edge. The sharp edge has priority. The blunt edge is on their heels. However, whoever starts with priority at the beginning of a turn, if they take damage, they lose their priority. And then that holds until the next turn. Caravans can be picked up and dropped. Caravan is the main mode that I was aware of to this. We do have an air skirmish format. And mirages. Okay, that's what the campsites are. Possible objective tokens with plain field on one side. Two of them have a plain field on both sides, while one can't. One shows a camp, which is the real objective. Cool. At any moment, a dragon carrying the caravan leaves the mat on its own deployment edge. Then you win. And okay, cool. So 3 scenarios. 4 scenarios, dragons at war. Oh, we do have headquarters and ballistas? Heck yeah. And then 5. With a respawn. Ooh, 9 turns and respawn. Heck yeah. And then we have a comic book in the very back as well. Nice. Very nice. Looking forward to reading that. Looking forward to getting into the rules. What else do we have in here? Let's just go ahead and pull the plastic out here and take a look. So, before I get into these dragons, let's get the rest of this out. As soon as I find where the flap is held, there it is. There's the adhesive strip line. Alright. Alright. Go over here. We've got our wound tokens. I'll get those punched out here in a moment. More of our wound tokens. There is a little bit of an errata here on some of the cards by mistake. Card was included among the skill cards. It's not a skill, but you cannot make your dragon invisible, not through buying the trait. This is a condition that applies When the spellcaster rider casts the invisibility spell. Okay. So these are cards that you can purchase to adjust and augment your traits, your flying squad, and all that good stuff. I'm not going to be getting into all of that quite yet. Ignore this card. Sorry for the miss out. Nice. And you have different skill levels of your dragon riders, different skill levels and different ages of your dragons. So younger dragons are going to be faster, slightly more maneuverable. Older dragons are going to be slightly, slower, but they're going to hit harder. You're going to have different skill levels of your riders as well. So this is one of our boards. We'll come in to look at more of these later. I think there is a magnetic layer in here. We will have three little meeple pawns to go between whether we are at where we are. So once they've done their action for the turn, it gets moved over here. We keep one to monitor the speed, so that the speed will be taken into account whenever we're moving and doing maneuvers in the next turn. Our fatigue tracker as well, which will go into the dragon dice for that is here too. We have our maneuver decks. Crack into one of them. Go on to the next track. Dragon is wounded, rider is wounded, dragon is stunned, rider is dazed. And then we have all of our maneuvers as well for the dragon to be executing. In the interest of accessibility, all of the colors, like the colors for difficulty, are translated as well to shapes so that we can, be accountable and make sure that this is playable by, colorblind participants. Everybody, games are for everybody, man. We need to figure out a better storage solution for these, though. I got some baggies for now that's gonna go on here. I'm thinking better because, I wish I had rubber bands that would fit this right now, but I don't. And then we have our dragons themselves. Knight on adult dragon with the dragon rider skills. I hadn't even played with rider skills. We were just doing straight on dragons when I was doing the demos. Knight on adult dragon white. So these have 4 wounds on them each. We'll get into the dragon models here shortly. So all of these are adult dragons. We got our copper and bronze, so our metallic dragons down here. White and red, so our chromatic dragons up at the top. Both of these have 4 wounds. They all use the same dragon skill, like dragon dice, for doing those tests. I could go in the description, but you can also check out the rules to the game for free. I will drop a link in the description below for the YouTube cut. I'm already thinking ahead. This is going to be going up on YouTube. However, if you want to check out the rules, you can find them for free. They're online. Look up Fighting Hedgehog, DragonStrike. This is a new game. It's going to be getting into your retailers very soon as well. So, white dragon has frost resistance, red dragon has fire resistance. So when they're going into the breath weapon of a similar dragon, then they don't have to worry about competing in it and taking as much of a struggle against it, or getting hurt by it so much. I am going to grab some D6s for wound tracking, though. All right, let's suckle. way too hymnal for me right now. I'm sorry, Hole Dweller. All right. Forgive me. I called these meeples earlier. They are pawns. They are pawns, not meeples, but. Right, not magnetic, but they fit in there perfectly. I remember tossing the idea of magnetic, but also, if you don't have to get the cost in there, why? So I get it. And in here, we have a sand timer. This is a 4-minute sand timer. Happy times, sand glass minutes. So this is a 4-minute sand timer. Whenever you start a turn, you have a 4-minute time limit in order to set your maneuver, but also once you get into playing the game, I don't think you're going to need all of those 4 minutes for both sides. So that is nice. The sand timer is also your priority control, or your priority token. So whoever has the timer is the one with the sharp edge, and then they're just responsible for flipping it up. We have our dragon dice. So there are 5 dice to this one. Excuse me. 5 dice. These are all 6-sided dice, proprietary printed. So 1, 2, 3. Half of it is blank. 1, 2, 3 printed sides. So you have 2 strikes and then a special condition. I'm going to ask if I need to ask him real quick. A quick question. Just for kind of helping demo stuff out. Before I forget, I know you're watching. You're about to get a message. And sent. Cool. So, we have another set of cards in here. 1, 2, 3. So, another set of maneuver cards. Another set of status cards. Let me check through the rule book. I'm calling them wrong. Hey, this does all look so cool. What's going on, buddy? Ha! What kind of cards were these? So that I don't keep like butchering the name of the like materials. Speed trackers. I could just go to the index page here. Dragon Dice, X play mats, 4 dragon cards, 4. Okay. Special hits cards and skill cards. Skill cards. That's what I need to call these. Skill cards. All right. So typically the retail version will not have fully painted stuff. It will come unpainted. But if I think he was saying that the retail for this core box unpainted is $100. With 4 dragons, it's enough for 4 people to play. And let's see here. Oh my gosh. Actually, hold up. Is this other camera off? Well then, that's a failure. So, are we gonna focus here? Like, this is a really good paint job on this Lancer. And the knight riding on this bronze dragon is nasty looking. Got a little cape flowing in there too. Oh man. The bronze dragon. Oh man. These look so cool. And the sculpt is really well done. Like, it's some pretty, like, it's not rigid plastic. Like, it's going to stand up to your play. Because, like, I can feel a little bit of flex, but it doesn't make me feel like it's going to break, you know? And they fit right back down in here. Our red dragon. Oh man, they're so pretty. My gosh. And then our white dragon. But wait, there's more after this. Ah, yes. So, we've got all of this here. Let me get these cards back in. I'm gonna have to baggy these cards. I'll do that after the stream. I am, however, going to throw some D6s in here. Probably gonna have to bite the bullet and just get some more 12mm. Although this kind of looks like a 14mm. Give me 1 second. Alright, curiosity going to get me. Check this with a 14mm die. Yeah. So the wound tracker fits a 14mm die wonderfully. Don't even have to worry about the 12 there. Heck yes.